This is Art History with Kenneth on the KJL Podcast Channel, a series where timeless masterpieces are brought to life through the lens of artist and host, Kenneth J. Lewis Sr. Each episode takes viewers on a visual and historical journey, uncovering the stories, styles, and significance behind the world's most influential artists and art movements. From bold brushstrokes to revolutionary ideas, this is where the past meets creative perspective. The journey begins now.
Welcome to another episode of Art History Show on the KJL Podcast Channel. I'm your host, Kenneth J. Lewis Sr., painter, storyteller, and a curator of visual memory. This is the show where we go beyond the classroom and step into the lived experience of artists who redefine the visual language of their time. Today's episode is titled Grace and Form, the Art of Eldzier Cortor. We're entering the refined, resilient world of an artist who painted not just Black life, but Black beauty, elegance, and strength. Eldzier Cortor was a master of form and feeling, a painter whose work fused classical influence with cultural truth. His portraits of Black women, elongated and dignified, are both revolutionary and poetic. By the end of this episode, you'll see how his brush honored the soul of a people and why his legacy still moves us today.
His work comes out of his soul, his heart.
I have to do it myself. I have to find out the truth. When I don't feel like I have to change it around. And that to me is the truth. Like I'm looking at this now here. You see, I have to do something about that.
Eldzier Cortor was born in Richmond, Virginia in 1916, but raised in the south side of Chicago, a city whose cultural pulse would shape his artistry for decades. He studied at the Art Institute of Chicago and was exposed early to African sculpture, classical drawing techniques, and the vibrancy of the Harlem Renaissance. But Cortor didn't follow the crowd. He looked inward and backward toward his ancestors, toward the everyday Black experience, and especially towards Black women as symbols of resilience, beauty, and cultural continuity. After graduating, Cortor worked for the WPA's Federal Art Project and began documenting the lives of African Americans on the Sea Islands off the coast of Georgia and South Carolina. What he found there wasn't poverty, but purity, an unbroken link to African traditions and a beauty unspoiled by industrialization. This would define his vision. Cortor's work is rooted in the figurative tradition, but it's anything but conventional. He elongated the human form, especially the female form, to emphasize elegance, spiritual strength, and cultural pride. These women are not objectified, they are emblems, warriors, matriarchs. In paintings like Southern Gate or Classical Study No. 34, we see influences from African sculpture, Byzantine icons, and modernist composition. The color palettes are rich but restrained. The settings are often minimal. A single cloth, a fractured floor, a doorway. But the figures, they're monumental. Cortor once said, "The Black woman represents the Black race. She is the Black spirit." He believed the preservation of culture was written on the body, in the poise, the patience, the quiet fortitude of his subjects. Before we continue, I want to invite you to explore more on the KJL Podcast Channel. The Muse Unveiled show, where each episode tells the story of a new muse through painting and conversation. Gallery and museum tours, where I walk you through some of the most powerful art spaces in the country. Art with Kenneth, behind the scenes painting sessions, tips, and storytelling. And if you believe in keeping this show alive and growing, consider supporting it. There's a Buy Me a Coffee link in the episode description. Every drop helps pour more art into the world. Cortor's journey didn't stop at American borders. In the 1940s, he received the Guggenheim Fellowship and traveled to the Caribbean, especially Haiti and Jamaica. There, he immersed himself in a new cultural symbol, spiritual traditions, and color vocabularies. He was also a U.S. Army war artist during World War II. His prints from that time are haunting and human, capturing the grit of war without glorifying it. He used intaglio printmaking techniques to add depth and contrast to his social commentary. Cortor was a technician, yes, but he was also a poet. His line work feels like calligraphy. His compositions are often quiet, still, but the emotion is thunderous underneath. These weren't just pretty pictures, they were cultural affirmations. Despite his brilliance, Cortor was often overlooked by mainstream art. Still, he never stopped. He continued painting, teaching, and inspiring until his death in 2015 at the age of 99. In his final decades, the art world began to catch up. His works entered the collections of the Whitney, the Art Institute of Chicago, the Smithsonian, and more. Exhibitions of his Sea Island paintings and figurative studies brought him long overdue praise. Cortor remained humble, focused, and true to his calling. He never abandoned the Black figure, never diluted his message, and never stopped elevating beauty through struggle. Eldzier Cortor gave us a visual language of reverence. He painted not what was trending, but what was timeless. If you're moved by the idea, the notion that art can restore dignity and preserve memory, I want to remind you, I accept commissioned paintings, no murals, but original pieces on canvas, abstract or figurative. Each a collaboration, each with a story. Reach out through the contact info in the description. I hope today's story has illuminated the quiet power of Eldzier Cortor, a man who painted grace into every hardship and made every figure a monument to the human spirit. We'll be back soon with another artist who turned life into legacy. This has been Kenneth J. Lewis Sr., and thank you for watching the Art History Show right here on the KJL Podcast Channel. Until then, stay visionary, stay open, and remember to always dig deeper.
Thank you for watching Art History with Kenneth on the KJL Podcast Channel. If this episode inspired, informed, or intrigued you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. Kenneth J. Lewis Sr. returns every other week with more captivating stories from the art world, exploring the legends, the techniques, and the timeless works that continue to shape our creative world. Until the next brushstroke in history, keep watching, keep wondering, and keep the art alive.